the session, but you can always have a pen and paper to note all the important information and instruction. You'll also have access to chat box, so make sure that you are dropping in your questions during the Q&A round or as required by the speaker in the chat box. And like I mentioned, we have 11 subject-wise quizzes, so make sure that you are tuning in to the end to get the access for the quiz. Now, without further delay, ma'am, over to you.
Thank you and namaskar to the lovely audience present here. My heartfelt gratitude to Eschant, the team, who are doing such great work to make our nation builders absolutely confident and ready to take their lead. So, it's always said that it's better to prevent and repair than repent and repair. So, on that note, I would like to begin with my preparation and my presentation, and also doing my namaskar, offering my namaskar and pranam to the eminent educators and parents who have joined this session. Allow me to screen share, please. And there goes my presentation. And if it is visible, kindly let me know.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Wonderful. And do keep a check on the fact that my voice is very clear and people are able to listen to me. So welcome children, you are here for Board Blueprint Part 1, Competency, Strategy and Mindset, right? So when we talk of competency, strategy and mindset, we want to look like this in 2026. Happy, cheering, delightful, and just, celebrating our success. Like all the beautiful pictures that you've seen in the newspaper, your picture should also be there. But then you are thinking, ma'am, Akriti ma'am just said 50% competency-based questions are coming, and time to think, how am I going to deal with that? I definitely need some help here, right? So here, if the help is needed, we are definitely here. And that is the agenda of the session today. So just be very clear. We are going to devote the time to understanding what competency-based questions are, why they matter, and how to approach them effectively. So these are the three main points that we'll be working on. And here, when I say that, let us understand what is competency. Competency, a word which seems very similar to competition now. Now here it is the ability, please mark these words. It is the ability to apply your knowledge and skills effectively in real life situations, because life is not just a book to be crammed and regurgitated on your answer sheet. It is the knowledge gained, how you are going to apply, how you're going to see, and how you're going to develop your attitudes and values in real life. So that is the real agenda. It goes beyond just knowing facts. It is all about using what you know to solve problems, to think critically, and to communicate clearly. If you just Google 21st century skills which are needed, the order is very simple. It says communication, it says collaboration, it says creativity, and it says critical thinking. That is why competency-based questions are dealing with these art and these skills very effectively. So let us understand how they are different. We have been solving so many question papers right from class 1, class 2. So why are you giving such a special name to this? So what happens in traditional questions is, what is asked is simply banking on the facts or the information that you've learned. But competency-based questions, they ask you how you will apply that knowledge to infer or to connect it to the real life situation. Now look at this example. What is the Industrial Revolution? You'll give an answer. But it would be a definition or some facts, when it started, when it happened, what were the changes that were brought by it. But when you're talking of competency-based questions, the question would ask you, explain how the Industrial Revolution changed people's lives. Use examples from the text. You see, when you explain and show understanding with examples, by citing examples from the text, then your skills are actually tested. Moving to the next slide. What does a competency-based question ask you to do? What is the expectation? So we'll be referring to this term as CBQ, okay? So CBQ test how well you can apply what you've learned. They usually ask you mark these words. And if you are taking notes, which you should be taking, note down these words because they are the key to understanding that this particular question is a competency-based question. The words are in green: explain, analyze, or use examples to show your understanding. So these words are going to be repetitively coming in front of you. So, ma'am, how will competency-based questions in English look like? You've shown me about the Industrial Revolution. We are going to just see, and maybe we are going to do a hands-on experience right now, just after I explain the details of CBQs. So how to understand the question and what clues to look for. So see, the action words, the verbs that will be used in competency-based questions will be explain. Now, when we say explain, tell how or why something happened. Then second would be describe. Give details about something. Next would be the word comes analyze. Break down the information to understand it better. And then the word comes compare. Two situations are given. We are supposed to compare. We'll be eventually doing one such exercise ourselves right now. And then using evidences, because when you want to prove, when you are able to prove your answer using evidence or example from the text, then it really becomes very effective and you are able to say what you want to say in a very effective way. And that is the competencies that you are going to prove. So support your answer with proof from the text or what you know. These clues tell you what kind of answer to give. Not just a fact. You're not just stating the facts. So it is not what, where, when. It could be how. It could be the why. It could be making connections. It could be comparing, right? So these are the skills that you should develop because in real life, you'll be needing these skills. So these clues tell you what kind of answer to give, not just a fact, but a clear explanation with examples. Now, how to pick evidence? Well, from text to answer competency-based questions, I won't be having maybe the text in front of me, right? Now, let us see. We are going to give you a step-by-step strategy because you remember the aim of this session is to give you strategy, how to do it. So step one is what? Read the question carefully. We were told by our teachers, if the question is carefully read, half the battle is already won. I'm repeating, if the question is carefully read, half the battle is already won. The problem is we do not pay attention and we do not mark the words which are there in the question and what is expected of us when we write the answer. So I'm just repeating here, step one, read the question carefully. Identify what skill or idea you need to explain. Then step two would be find supporting information in the text and look for facts, dates, quotes, or examples that help you answer the question. And then use these evidences to support your answers. So it can be in English, we use these phrases, some vocabulary, some particular word that will support your argument or your context. So let us do some hands-on activity. Are you ready for that? If you're ready for that, type yes in your chat box so that we know you are really involved and you are here to learn how to deal with the competency-based questions. So let's see some yes is coming and Akriti ma'am will tell me if some yes is coming and people have not just logged in and just are watching.
Yes, ma'am.
It's coming? Very good.
Yes.
Okay. Now this writing section, we have selected passage from the CBSE sample question paper. It has been sent to you by our team. So here it is. Ma'am, it looks very small to me. How can you read? If you already have it, I think it has been already sent to you. So just for your convenience, I have made it into a bigger, I've just, made it on the full screen. So read this question very silently. You are the president of the debate society in your school. Two guests have sent you their details, Mr. Rajan Sharma and Ms. Beera Kapoor, and they have written to express their interest in participating in your upcoming debate competition. Read the excerpt quietly. I'll be just quiet for a few seconds. And if you already have it in your mail, it's better to open it there. So this is what Mr. Rajan Sharma has written. Okay, proceeding. So excerpt 2 is the write-up sent by Ms. Meera Kapoor. Right? I hope you have them in your hand, because I think Akriti ma'am can send you the link once again in the chat box. Now coming to the main task. Analyze the information in a paragraph, justifying which guest speaker would be a better choice. Consider factors such as experience, relevance to the topic, and audience engagement. My request to you is, after listening to step 1 and step 2 that we had listed, can you spot the words in this question which will tell you that this is a CBQ? You can write that special word or those 2 words or 3 words in the chat box. Let's see some action, children. Quickly type in the chat box and show that you are learning. You are not just here to attend a session. You're actually learning in a classroom. Akriti ma'am, our answer is coming because my screen is in front of me.
Yes, ma'am. Students are writing analyze, justify, getting many for analyze and justify.
Wonderful, wonderful. So they are very attentive. Congratulations. It's really, really euphoric to have a very attentive audience. So analyze the information in a paragraph, justifying which guest speaker would be a better choice. Consider factors as experience, relevance to the topic, and audience engagement. Now, what should you pay attention to? Okay, the highlighted part when I talk about is the question only. So that is the highlighted part. Now see. Be very careful when you read this table. What is the focus area? As you rightly pointed out, it is analyze the information. So you must read and understand the details from the excerpt and not just summarize. The word analyze tells you this is CBQ. Now the question also says that in a paragraph, don't write just 1 or 2 lines, okay? We want a paragraph. So that is also a very important phrase for you. So your answer must be structured in a paragraph form, not in 1 to 3, not in bullet points. Then the word comes justifying. You must give reasons why you have chosen that particular speaker. Not just pick one person because I like Meeraji's excerpt and I do not like Mr. Rajan's, or vice versa. Do not just do that. You have to justify, you have to support your answer with evidences. So which guest speaker would be a better choice? You must choose one between Mr. Rajan Sharma and Ms. Beera Kapoor. Don't be diplomatic and say, ma'am, both can be invited. No, we have to be very clear what the question is asking, we have to give. Consider factors such as experience, relevance to the topic, and audience and engagement. Now see, this question has been broken down into phrases, and the expectation from the student is written on the right-hand side. So these are the criteria you must use to evaluate the candidates and look for evidence matching these criteria. Proceeding further, how do I find evidence from the text, ma'am? It's such a short time and I could not read. I don't remember. It's not in front of me. Now see, identify the criteria from the question, from the prompt, experience-wise. So you see Mr. Rajan's, then see Ms. Meera's, relevance to the topic because it's a debate competition. So to see which of the 2 speakers is more relevant to the need that we have. And then who will be able to engage audience because it's a young audience that they are going to speak to. So you must find information related to these 3 things in the excerpt. Now see, We've done a little sampling for you, right? So you skim and you see here, Mr. Rajan Sharma. We've looked for the same previous, whatever we saw the bullets in the previous slide. How much experience he has? 10 years of experience as a public speaker. And he's been a debate coach. Two things match. Then he's guided students to success in national level competition. Relevance is also there. Positive feedback for engaging sessions and practical insights. Audience engagement is also there. Now look at the second speaker. Miss Meera Kapoor. She participated in international forums and won accolades. Experience is there and accolades, relevance is also there. She connects with young audiences. That also matches. It seems, ma'am, it is so confusing. Wait. Debates relevant to real world scenarios. She still excels here also. Now, you might be in a dilemma. Whom should I choose? What answer should I write? Right? Now, if we think like that, so see, what student can write? We have to understand how to use specific phrases from the text and then convert them into our own sentences. Now, just one answer is here. One answer for this question is here. While both speakers are impressive, Ms. Meera Kapoor may be a better choice because of her international experience and her ability to connect with young audience. Her focus on real-world scenarios make debates more meaningful and relatable for students. Her emphasis on personal growth through debating is all aligned with the goals of a school debate competition, right? This can be one answer, and then don't miss out on the word or here, okay? Another answer could be understand how to use the specific phrases for Mr. Rajan. Mr. Rajan Sharma appears to be better choice due to his decade-long experience as a debate coach. His proven track record of guiding students in national competitions and the positive feedback on his engaging sessions show that he can motivate and connect well with the students. Now, my question to you is, you will say, ma'am, you're giving both the answers. Huh? You're confusing us. In the given excerpts, is there a right or wrong answer as to who is better? Write your thoughts in the chat box. Was the first answer right or the second one right? Is there anything right or wrong? Please write your thoughts. Akriti ma'am, some answers are coming.
Yes, ma'am. One has written both. Some has written first one. One person again has written both are right, but Meera is better. Meera is right.
Very good.
You are writing second also.
Very nice, very nice. So children are involved. Thank you. This is what we want. Learning comes when involvement is there. So in the given excerpts, is there a right or wrong answer as to who is better? The answer is no. There's no right or wrong answer. The only way is how well you can actually advocate for the reasons or for the choice that you're making. The expectation of the task is what? It is how well can you read and understand. Compare the information on the parameters given, analyze and draw conclusion. When you draw conclusion, then what is your rationale? If you know this word, great. What are the reasons? Rationale means logic. What logic are you giving to support your conclusion? Right? Somebody's raised hands. We'll come to you towards the end of the session, dear. Shubham sir. Just wait. So a little more practice for literature, from literature. That has been taken from your literature book. Now, this is two stories about flying, first flight, okay? So it says, read the given extracts A and B and answer any one of the two. So we've taken A here as a sample. Now, I'm staying quietly read this. I'm staying silent for just 60 seconds.
Ma'am, if you are asking, can you repeat the question, please? Because students think the screen is paused.
Okay. Screen is paused. No, I was paused.
Maybe they missed the question.
Okay. No, I was asking them to read it quietly. I said I'll stay quiet. Okay. He just felt a bit dizzy and then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Students, are you able to listen to my voice? Type yes in the chat box. Ga, ga, ga. His mother swept past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his two brothers and sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and curve and shrieking shrilly. Now, this is excerpt. Now, the three questions that are given to you, read, contradict the view that the seagull, once again, my screen is blinded by the pop-ups that are coming. Contradict the view that the seagull celebrated his maiden flight. Okay. Is there any word which is telling you it is a competency-based question? Can you catch a word from here? If you can, please put it in the chat box.
Ma'am, we are on step 2, right?
We are on. Is my slide not changing?
No, ma'am, it is still on step 2.
Okay, I'll just 1 minute. I'll reshare.
Okay.
Are you able to see section D literature text box?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is an excerpt from 2 stories about flying, first flight, right? Should I reread the passage for you, children? This is about the first flight of the seagull. He just felt a bit dizzy, then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his 2 brothers and sister flying around him, curveting and banking and soaring and diving. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. I am on the next slide now. Is it visible, Akriti ma'am? 3 questions are there. Akriti ma'am, can you see my next slide? 3 questions
Yes,
are there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So now comes the first question, contradict the view that the seagull celebrated his maiden flight. Is there a word which tells you that this is a competency-based question? If you can catch it, write it in the chat box. So next question says, which of the following statements best explains the young seagull's experience as he starts flying? So we'll go through these questions one by one. Akriti ma'am, next one is visible as it is a CBQ. Is this visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. As it is a competency-based question, so what is expected of you? Understand what the question expects you to do. Locate evidence from the text to support their answers. Think beyond recall. Try to infer, to interpret, and justify based on the passage. I'm changing my slide and keep on telling me if you're not able to see. So the question was, contradict the view that the young seagull celebrated his maiden flight alone. What should we notice? Look at the left side, the column. The word contradict tells you it is a competency-based question. So you must give evidence against the idea that he was alone. The view, what is your point of view? You're responding to an idea or opinion, not just stating a fact. Celebrated his maiden flight alone. Check, was he really alone? Then flying, who else was there? What were they doing? Okay. The next slide has come. Akriti ma'am, kindly keep a tap on that. Okay, now look for the mentions of others around him. What was his mother doing? Swooped past him. His father flew over him screaming. His 2 brothers and sister flying around him. He was not alone. So when you pick these phrases and put them in your answer, you are proving that you have the logic or the evidence to support what you are saying. Show this, that the whole family was there, flying with him, celebrating through swooping, screaming, and flying. Now, what should we notice? So it means you must choose the most accurate and complete explanation. Experience as he starts flying, focus only on the initial part of flying and not later. Look at both options carefully. We are talking of the second question now. One may sound right, but oversimplify. The other may align more with the tone of the passage. Okay. So here, when the 2 options for the question 2 is given, which of the following statements best explains young seagull's experience as he starts flying? you know very well, young seagull immediately mastered flight? No. Young seagull gradually gained confidence and joined his family in the air. So that is where we'll zero down on this one, because the key line that we'll spot is he just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. So the gradual transition shows like this. He first feels dizzy, he then flaps, he then soars, he then joins family and forgets past fear. So correct inference is B, right? The previous one, if you can see, it is the B part that is very, very clear. Okay. Now, the third question says, what can be inferred about his emotional state after his flight with his family? So what should we notice? What it means? What does the question mean? Now see the word inferred. The word inferred tells you that you have to draw inference here. And you're talking about the emotional state of seagull. So what can be inferred? You need to read between the lines. Emotions are not directly stated. Emotional state is look for feelings like joy, pride, excitement, etc. And after flying with his family, focus on what happens once he joins them in the flight. So how to find evidence for this question in the text? Because we have to prove that what his emotional feeling was. So he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly, commanded himself to dive and soar, shrieking shrilly. This shows joy and pride, excitement, sense of achievement, and inference is that the young seagull felt elated, confident, free. Now, children, right from day one, you should work on your vocabulary. Not everything will be served to you. The more you read, the more you devote time to reading, understanding, and not just skimming through the chapter, reading it carefully, then only you'll be able to attempt such answers. So see, competency-based questions, which we gave you an example from the writing section. We gave you example from the literature section. So these questions, they test how well you can apply that you've learned. They always ask you to explain, analyze, or use examples. See, National Education Policy 2020 has exactly said this, and so has National Curriculum Framework 2023. Focus on critical thinking, creativity, real world application. Everything cannot be crammed and regurgitated. Are you able to process your thoughts? Are you able to express what you want to express? Move away from rote learning, encourage understanding and deeper learning. Okay? And then why you have to practice? We'll insist practice a lot. Don't think that you have 5 subjects, all subjects have the same weightage. If you ignore or rather put it away for some other day, then those scores will bring you down. So it is it will be very wise if you devote time to languages per day, if not every language, at least one language one day. So that is very, very important. Competency-based questions require skill. And like any skill, practice improves performance. Mock tests help identify gaps and build confidence. Timed practice improves speed and clarity. And then here we'll bring something for you, because the revision books that we'll be talking about, they're completely aligned with NEP and CBSE guidelines and includes plenty of competency-based questions for board exams. So they are ideal for revision and practice. So why practice? You might ask, why is she saying again and again practice? If the educators are there, they just don't want to intimidate the children, that all the theoretical part. But let me tell you, it has been proved that deliberate practice improves performance. If you think just by reading you'll be creating an answer then and there and writing in a flare, you are mistaken. You need to practice and write, and you need to know what kind of questions and what kind of formation of questions will be there, what wordology will be used in the questions, that I'll be able to attempt these. And then the Anderson-Sachs theory also says that we have to, knowledge becomes automatic with repeated application. If we repeatedly visit that, we repeatedly apply that knowledge, then only we become very, very expert at it. So you need to understand the pattern and weightage of questions. Improve your time management. That's why practice, practice, practice. Identify frequently tested concepts and reduce exam anxiety through familiarity, because it helps shift learning from short-term recall to long-term mastery. All the people sitting, or maybe all the toppers who have been doing very well, or even the children who have been scoring good, I'll not simply talk of toppers, ask them, they do not simply resort to reading, they resort to writing and timing their writing also. So repetition moves learning from I understand it to I can apply it. That's very important. And I'll just read this part. For students, you will be able to make connections across topics, clarify misunderstandings, practice articulation of answers in exam format. And techniques like mind mapping, summarizing, peer teaching during revision enhance the metacognition, and this has been proved through research. So good revision is strategic. It's not just about doing more, but doing better. Okay. My slides are changing, right, Akriti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you'll be saying, ma'am, you are saying so much about competency-based questions, how to attempt, how to attempt these questions, where do I get the material from? Where do I get all these competency-based questions from? So how to prepare and be ready for competency-based questions, if that is what you're thinking, because ma'am, I thought a lot, but I'm really wondering what to do. We have the answer. We bring you a practical guide. And that practical guide is here, which is rapid revision competency-based questions combined for class 10 CBSE, one subject, one cover. 228 pages are devoted to English. You see, I'm going to show it each and every section, section A, B, C, explained in detail first. And the sample answers are also there. And then questions have been dealt with in such a beautiful manner by expert writers. 228 pages devoted to learning of language skills. And I've gone through each and every page myself. Competency-based questions with solutions, because you'll be wondering, parents who are listening to me, you have your jobs to look after, you have to attend to many other commitments. All you need to do is tell your child that this will be the portion that you should have revised by the time I reach home and we sit together. So you cannot hunt for competency-based questions on your own. But here under one cover, you will get everything that you can give and revise, make your child revise in a very methodical way. Analytical paragraphs that have been given so beautifully well. Grammar, all topics, beautifully explained, in detail, and meticulously the exercises have been done. And CBSE sample papers with solutions all in one cover. So this is one stop, absolutely, where you can relax and just, think that, yes, this I've got, and my child will be able to, take care of mathematics, science, social science, English, just because this one book gives you entire competency-based questions in one cover. So yippee, lot of speaking, lot of competency-based questions, and I'm thinking what to do. Let me talk about the quiz time, which has got some nice, beautiful goodies for you also. So for quiz time, what all details Akriti ma'am has already shared, I'm repeating. You may take a screenshot of this slide, right? And this scanner will navigate you towards a quiz. So register for webinars to participate. That's the most important thing. Students can attempt a quiz only once per subject. The first response will be considered based on the time submission. Okay. You may submit multiple responses, but your first response will be considered. Start attempting quizzes from August 8, 10 a.m. to September 30th, 10 a.m. You can attempt quizzes in multiple subjects. Each quiz will have 30 questions to complete. And prizes, wow. So you can see lovely figures are there. I don't need to announce so much. Winners will be announced during the November 6 and 7 sessions, right? So on that note, I think I've timed it well, if not wrong. And I'll stop share and come back into the session. Yeah, Kriti ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a powerful session. Now, I would request all the participants, students who have joined us, if you have any questions related to the competency-based questions, specifically for English subject, please drop it in the chat box. We have a question about quiz. The quiz duration, it's actually going to start from August 8th. and it will go on till September 30th, 10 a.m. So you are going to have approximately 1.5 months to attempt the quiz. You can go ahead. We have dropped in the rapid revision book also in the chat box. You can, okay, we'll show the quiz link again.
Mhm.
So all the participants, if you have any questions regarding the session,
Please do ask.
ma'am, we have a question about how we can score full marks in English.
Okay. Four or five things I would say. I'll not say one or two things. I'll say 4 or 5 things. Number one, never resort to reading summaries. Read every chapter line by line yourself, and never allow even a single word to go unattended whose meaning you do not know. Even if the list comes to 14 words, 24 words, 34 words, that is your word bank. And please, what I tell the students is make small checks, write those words and put it on the walls of the almiras, etc., so that you keep on looking at those words whenever you're crossing by, with meanings, of course. And those words won't become your words until you use them in sentences of your own. Vocabulary is your ultimate power. And until and unless you start reading thoroughly yourself, so literature is the one part which you can bank on. Now comes to one more question, because your question is a very big question, how to score full marks. Another question which bothers or which puts the children in dilemma is which section should I attempt first? Now let me tell you this, your reading comprehension, that section A, the question paper has been designed in such a way, because when you start your exam, you're given a few minutes extra. You can utilize that time to do the reading passage very thoroughly. You can read it very nicely. And by the time you're given the permission to write, you can read it the second time. At that time, your mind is most relaxed. And that is one passage or two passages which nobody is going to teach you. No teacher is there by your side. You cannot even ask the meaning of a word. You have to self-teach yourself. And the only answer is to read, reread, and then again go back to the questions, find the answers, and so on and so forth. So section A can be done ideally in the beginning, and then proceed on to B and then to C. But there's another point of view. Some people think that since grammar and literature are your sure shot, attempt them first and get ample time to do reading, text, etc. The ball is in your court. What are you comfortable? So what is the solution? Take a sample paper, set a timer, attempt it once with section ABC, and second time attempt the second question paper with CBA, or the way you want it. So timing is very important. You know why? Because these days we are into typing so much, whether we are doing submitting projects or we are typing on the computer, that our writing speed has gone slow, even for the adults, by children. So it's very important to time your speed of writing. This is one. The presentation matters. I've been talking to the teachers who go for checking. Now, they said very simply that sometimes children know the answer, but the presentation is so shabby. One answer is so close to the another one that somehow, when they have to check 60 to 70 papers per day, it really becomes very hard for them to read, and the writing is not legible. So very important, start working on your handwriting right from day one. If it is not legible, it should be in fact beautiful. Write your answer, leave 2 lines. You get ample answer sheets. Leave 2 lines to 3 lines. Then write the second answer. Third, if you're writing some phrases which you're proud of, if you've used a proverb, an idiom, underline it with pencil. Right. And then leave a right-hand side margin also for the baby. You might have to think about a phrase or something, or organize your ideas, show that writing work that side only. And complete your paper very, very carefully. And like competency-based questions, please see that what is expected of you, and do not hesitate in recalling and then trying to put that knowledge into your own words. Right? Poetry, pay attention to poetry. Sometimes children, they have a mind that we'll do it later, and sometimes they're not able to do it. So, regularity is the key, child, whether it is maths, whether it is science, Hindi, English, anything. Regularity is the key. If you study 2 subjects per day, but language you keep only for Friday and Saturday, so the languages will also keep you in the margin. So please give time, to study of the languages also. I hope I've partially answered your question, because there's so much I cannot say within one 5 or 10 minutes.
So, ma'am, we have another question. A student has asked how we can improve our grammar and we face problems in time management.
Yeah, so time management, wonderful. So let me tell you one thing. First, I'm dealing with time management. Half yearly is round the corner. That is September, you'll start this. So see, divide your entire syllabus into 3 weeks. And in detail, only the first week, in detail per day, what you'll do, you set the target, and then you try to meet it. And Friday, you must review. Have I been able to meet the target, or is it only brought forward? I'd said 3 chapters for one day, 2 done, 1 brought forward. And then next day it becomes 4, and then next day 2 chapters forward. If that shows simply that your speed of revision is slightly slower. And let me tell you, every day wasted is a gem thrown away in a dustbin. Every day is important for you. Not to say that you do have to deny yourself many other things, but a regularity is the key. I'm saying that. And then manage to see that within 1 week, have I been able to meet my targets? And if not, then you change your strategy. If you're a late night sleeper or you study at night, try to wake up early in the morning and then do the studies. This is one. Secondly, you talked about the grammar part. So the grammar part, simply, it is only a matter of practice, and your basics should be clear. So the sooner you attempt that, like in this book, Competency-Based Questions, what the wonderful thing I found was every topic was dealt with in detail, and all the exercises were given in a very finished way. And then the sample papers are also there with solutions. Best part is grammar is like mathematics. Either you know it or you don't know it. It's either 1 or 0. So best is to know the logics very clearly, know the reasons very clearly, be very sure of your tenses, determinants. Every topic that is listed is important. But then solving editing passages, because editing passages actually are the quintessence of all the knowledge you've gained in grammar, in English, in language application. Editing, you cannot say that this is an editing passage of a determinant. No, it checks all your concepts. So the more you type 2 words, integrated grammar, and you will get a lot of exercises. Buy this book, and this book has got a lot of exercises. Solve them, and you can then, after solving, go back and check with the answers. So grammar is, to be sure, don't be scared of it. It's nothing. We simply, because we don't use it. I still have students who are really in class 9, and he don't listen to me. Please, he doesn't listen to me. Subject verb agreement. This has been taught to you, and you've been studying it from, I think, 2 classes. So only the way is because we don't speak. Try to speak in a way and try to listen also, because it is LSRW. Listening is also very important. If you don't listen to that language, books don't speak, but listen to the audios. And speaking and then reading and then writing. Fine, sir? Yeah.
Yes. Ma'am, we'll take one last question. Somebody has asked, can a student score full marks in competency-based questions for language paper?
They can, if they use the correct phraseology, they can. Definitely, people have. It's not that competency-based questions have been started just now. Earlier, we used to call it HOTS, HOTS. So, right, it is something with high-order thinking skills. So somehow the terminology also has changed, but yes, the involvement of the CBQs or the portion or the percentage given to CBQs now is more. Definitely, people have scored more. If you see the past, there are so many people who have scored in full marks, 99, 100. And because you need to use the correct vocabulary, if you're writing a character sketch, use the correct adjective. If you're writing the phrases for any long answer question, be very careful of the word limit, of the formats. Of course, you can. Full marks can be scored, provided you are, like we showed you step by step. If you choose these phrases from the text and you cite in it, why the examiner won't give you 5 out of 5 or 3 out of 3, whatever the question weightage is. So it's not that. Be very careful in reading, decoding the competency-based question. So decoding it, catching the phrase, they're asking me to contradict. They're asking me to compare. Now here I have to analyze. Here I have to, just show and explain why he was very hesitant in flying. So choosing those words and phrases from the text, maybe putting them in inverted comma, maybe underlining, So the examiner immediately, even if she or he has to check 80 papers, he'll be immediately, his attention will be caught. Yes, here the child is giving me absolutely nice vocabulary. And this is also a fact that if you use good vocabulary, you get half a mark extra. Let me tell you. And for 3 mistakes that you commit, right, your half a mark is taken away, right? And if you suppose you're not happy with the word that you've used, please don't scribble it hard. Just cut it once, okay? And leave it there. I mean, of course, the person will know this is not to be there, but don't make it so shabby. Otherwise, the presentation matters a lot. How you present your papers. And if you just type the best answer sheets of English in CBSE, see the way children have written. They are the same children, almost of the same age, under the same pressure, writing in beautiful handwriting, leaving good gaps, giving the correct vocabulary. I read the answer sheet, Akriti, of a child. So one question was asked, what does the poet think? And she's very clear. Robert Frost says that. Now, you are very clearly conveying to the examiner, I remember the name of the poet also. So that is a way to score, right? Impress upon others that, yes, I can apply the knowledge that I've learned. And that is the aim of this agenda of this presentation today.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. And thank you so much for such a brilliant session. And we were able to decode English session and the questions. Your tips, comprehension, expression, and the strategies that you have shared for the students, I hope it will be useful for their boards and even for their half-yearly exams. To all the students, quiz is going to be live by tomorrow. Ma'am has already shared the QR code, but make sure that you are joining and attempting the quiz for all the subjects that are associated to you. Now, up next at 7 p.m., we have another session with Ms. Sunita Rajiv, with Ms. Swati Kulkarni. She's going to talk about social science and a subject where competency-based questions are all about why and not about what. So make sure that you are tuning in for that also. Now, we are moving towards the closing of this session. Thank you so much, ma'am. And to all the participants, I'll see you at 7 p.m.
God bless you all. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.